off the top of your head, what's your favorite episode?
Oh, I can't say that. I can't say that.
Oh, I can. One
My
comes right to the top of my head.
my favorite episode is every episode I'm with you.
You're just saying that because it's sort of, you feel it's
Yeah,
sort of
because you're
politically correct.
looking at these episodes.
No, I already knew the answer to
Liar.
this. No, because
Liar, pants on fire.
it's been in my head.
I know which one.
Which one is it?
Welcome to the Purr Podcast, your favorite feline-focused podcast, where we dive into all things feline, medicine, surgery, behavior, and of course, a sprinkle of veterinary gossip along the way.
I'm Dr. Jolle Kirpensteijn, feline fanatic, surgery nerd, and self-proclaimed lover of all things awkwardly cat-related.
And I'm Dr. Susan Little, proud cat vet, podcast enthusiast, and your guide to the wonderfully weird world of feline medicine. Let's get started.
Hello, this is Dr. Jolle Kirpensteijn.
And this is Dr. Susan Little. And what kind of voice was that? You kind of.
Hello. Yeah, it was very deep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, good try.
Mm. So this is the Purr Podcast?
It is the Purr Podcast.
And why is this Purr Podcast special?
Why is this Purr Podcast like no other Purr Podcast?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well,
Yeah.
it's because it is number 225. Do you believe that?
No, I can't
No.
believe it that we did 224 podcasts.
We've not murdered each other or
No,
not. Yeah,
no,
that's
not
pretty
yet.
nice. It could always happen.
Right.
But so far, and how many years did it take us to get to 225?
A long time, 8 years almost.
Okay. Earlier today, you told me it was 7 years.
It is 7 years because we started in 2018, June of 2018 to be
Okay.
exact.
Okay, then when you give a number, you have to stick with it, and you can't just like switch it up and say it's 8
Almost I
years.
said.
Well, it's not even close to almost.
It's almost 8 years. 7 plus years.
7 plus.
Yeah.
There's a reason we're recording it
Yes.
in September of
Yes,
2025.
yes. And it's a reason that it's a 225 and
Yeah.
it's still here.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
where did it all start, Dr. Susan?
Well, see, we couldn't record this in October. It wouldn't work.
No.
It only works to record it in September.
Right. And why is that, Dr. Susan?
We've returned to the scene of the crime. You know, I like true crime.
I know you do like
I love true crime. So we've returned to the scene of the crime. Yeah,
right. Dr. Susan is addicted to crime.
I do like true crime.
Podcast, other YouTube videos, huh? That's what
It's all true crime.
right.
Yeah,
True crime.
yeah.
And she kind of estimates if a person gets convicted or not.
Yes. Now, would you have guessed that we would have been still going after 200 plus episodes?
No.
It's a what?
No. I thought we would have done like 20 of them. And we got so tired of each other that we would have stopped immediately.
I see you started this in good faith.
Right. We started in Brazil.
What does that have to do with it?
That this was just, it sounded like a really good project.
At the
Well, we
time.
were here at the time, but then we didn't realize how much work it was.
It's a lot of work.
So
And-
it's just
And we don't get paid.
okay. So it's all pro bono.
Yes.
For the cat community that we love so much.
Yes.
Of veterinarians, veterinary technicians,
Yeah.
receptionists,
Any
everybody that
veterinary
works.
team member.
Right, I know. So
We're here for you.
it is, and we're here for the cats.
We are.
The cats rule, and we
Yeah.
all started this because we felt that there was not enough information about cats.
Yeah, especially not enough kind of like current, almost in real time, right? Rather than
Based on science.
based on science. Yes, right.
We have had some amazing guests, and I'm going to pull up the podcast right now.
And
And
you're going to look at the guest
I'm
list.
going to, no, not the guests, it's too long. But how many downloads do you think that we've had on the
Okay.
podcast? And I'll look it up, and you can.
I'm going to think of a big number. 100,000.
100,000. So
That's my guess.
let's see if you're right or not. So I have to go podcast statistics. I don't want to download it.
Make it 100,001 downloads. Whoa. 226,930. That's a lot.
That's a lot of
Well,
downloads.
maybe it isn't a lot. Who knows? I think it's a lot.
It is a lot.
I think it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and 225, we're at number 225,
Yeah.
or approximate, because
Yeah.
I'm still kind of counting. So it might be number 226, but who knows? But we celebrate 225.
Yes.
Because we're back in the place where it all started.
It's the timing.
It's the time.
It's the timing.
Right.
Right. Yeah. It's because we're back in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
why were we there?
Originally?
Mhm. We did a tour,
Yeah. Was it?
Latam tour.
Oh, that's right.
Right. So we were to multiple places.
It was mostly Brazil though, wasn't it?
I think it was 2 or 3 different countries. But anyway,
Anyway.
we were in multiple places.
Right.
And the one thing that we found out is that almost everybody asked the same questions
True.
during our lecture.
And it's not just in Brazil, actually, but
No, it's everywhere.
yeah.
So there's a lot of things that are unknown, and everybody has books, but I don't think they read the books very often.
You know what I think you do is you tend to, when you need to like read up on something, you'll go to a textbook, right? But when you're just sort of sitting there and you think, what's the answer to such and such, right? Yeah, it's like more spontaneous, right? But they're very similar questions.
Although now you have
Yeah.
ChatGPT, and it gives you all the answers.
We might be out of business.
We might be.
We might be.
Although
Did you think of that?
I bet that ChatGPT is scrolling our information.
I didn't think of that.
Mm-hmm. It probably is, but it's okay because it's open access anyway. The more people know about cats, the better it is for me.
I know, but we've prided ourselves on making sure the information we bring is like sound,
Right,
evidence-based.
right.
And to that end, it's not just us yakking. Well, there's a lot of
It
us
is.
yakking. There is a lot.
It is a lot of you yakking.
Right?
Right.
And you've been silent
Oh yeah.
for 7 years.
Yeah, no, 7 long years I've been silent. And this is the time that I'm going to talk to
Clearly,
my audience.
you were getting paid enough to be silent.
Right.
0.
Right.
Yeah,
A lot of things have changed
Yes, that's.
since then.
I want to talk about yes,
Yes. What do you want to know?
Okay,
How
so
many?
no, put your phone down.
Oh.
I am ready for this, I think. Okay, so I have not counted how many guest experts we've had,
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah.
we have had a lot.
Yes, we have had a lot, and she's looking at our website, which is purrpodcast.net,
Yes,
which she is supposed to keep.
I have plans to make it more up to date.
Yeah, so
I have plans.
Dr. Susan is our webmaster.
Yeah, soon resigning.
Sometimes
I'm going to be
it takes a
resigning.
little bit of pushing to update it. So we promise we'll update it because it's 225 right
Yeah.
now.
Okay,
And
so
yes,
we've had a lot. So we've had a lot of guest experts,
Right.
right? And we've had some repeat offenders.
we
Who's
did.
the number 1 repeat offender?
That's Dr. Mike Levin.
I think it's Dr. Mike Lappin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very closely followed by.
Is it Steve Dale?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
Steve's number 2.
Yeah, Steve wants to be number 1, and Steve keep on trying. But I don't know why Mike is always just one step ahead.
It's because there's often like news.
All right.
He always has news.
Yes. You're telling me that Steve doesn't have news? That's not
Yes, but no, the other thing is we see Mike more than we see Steve. I think it's partly
And
that.
Steve, you're always welcome,
Of
and
course
you
he is.
are a wonderful guest. So
He's been our announcer voice.
he has been for a long time.
Yeah.
But we just changed that.
Yeah, I know, but he was our original announcer voice.
He was, yes.
Yeah.
So thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
Always lovely to talk to you. And
Yeah.
Mike, congratulations. You are still on the number 1 spot.
Yeah.
Dr. Mike Lappin, hopefully he'll be back soon,
Yeah.
right?
And your certificate is in the mail.
Your plaque.
Your plaque is in the
Yeah.
mail.
That reminds me of, I was in Korea, and I got a plague of appreciation. A plague.
Bingo, a plague of
A
appreciation.
plague of appreciation. So talking about plague, that was one of the last topics that Mike talked about.
Very nice
So-
segue.
You like it?
Good job.
Yeah, I just want to say, right.
Took 7 years, but here
But
we
you know,
are.
the plague is back, huh?
It is.
Yeah.
I think that's why we talked to Dr.
No, but I mean, it's even more now.
Oh,
So
we need to talk to Dr. Lavin again.
again,
Yeah.
yeah. But,
So we've had-
don't eat cat poop.
We have had some,
You know,
that's what he says.
That's-
Yeah, that's his bottom line. Don't eat cat.
Yeah, but
All is good.
then he was in Africa and he ate gazelle poop and did the when you're doing a at least it was with me when we do a safari.
Yeah.
They pick up these little poops of the gazelle and you have to spit them out as far as you can. I refused that.
Okay, I went on a very different type of safari from
But
you and Mike Lappin.
Mike Lappin did the same thing and he did it. And he's an infectious disease person and I couldn't believe it.
My trips have never involved spitting poop, just want to say. So we have had lots of amazing guest experts and we've had our repeat offenders. What, off the top of your head, what's your favorite episode?
Oh, I can't say that. I can't say that.
Oh, I can.
You know,
One comes right to the top of my head.
my favorite episode is every episode I'm with you.
You're just saying that because it's sort of, you feel it's.
Yeah, because you're
politically correct.
looking at these episodes.
No, I already knew the answer to
Liar.
this. No, because
liar, pens on fire.
it's been in my head.
I know which one.
Which one is it?
Mine is about to be.
It's the same one. It's the same one.
Eric Garcia in the bee.
It's Garcia.
When he killed the queen bee.
And he didn't kill the queen bee.
No, but
She died.
he died.
And so you have to find the last episode because we've recorded with Eric more than once. So the last, it would have been recorded earlier this year.
Recent ago.
Yeah.
Not so long ago.
Yeah, not so long ago, right?
I have not laughed so much.
And oh my gosh. And so Eric was telling us that during the pandemic, he took up beekeeping, which that kind of like, that made us go way down the beekeeping rabbit hole,
Yes.
right? And then the story, and then he tells the story, and at the end, the queen bee died.
Yeah, I know.
And
she
Yola,
left. She was kicked out of the hive.
she was, and she died.
And she died.
Yeah. And Yola and I both audibly went,
It was a shock. It was a
was.
shock in the podcast. I mean, I was
It was
surprised I could still do the podcast afterwards. Right.
It was hard to get over.
It was. So what interestingly enough is that Instagram or whatever social media you're on,
Yeah.
when you watch one video, suddenly you get 1,000 of them.
Did you get a lot of beekeeping videos?
So no, I was watching one video about bees in Arizona. Did you know that?
Bees in Arizona.
Bees in Arizona are Africanized.
Oh,
So the African bee is this
Yeah.
really aggressive bee.
and they take over colonies.
And they take over the
Yeah,
colonies.
yeah.
And so you cannot hold, if you're not a professional, bees in Arizona
Oh, what's
because
that?
they're so aggressive. And so this guy is in the middle of nowhere finding these beehives and getting stung 150,000 times, and then needs to eradicate those bees. And what he does, he has this little spray thing that he sprays the bee through it, and it's like not toxic, but it just drops them on the floor. I don't know what it's some adhesives that he does. So he's like,
What?
and then he's talking about these bees and that they're so bad and blah 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 blah. And it is, I didn't know that in Arizona.
That's fascinating.
Bees.
I think we need to get Eric back for a bee follow-up episode.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, African bees are not good.
Apparently not.
No.
No.
So
So
it
here's
has
the
nothing to do
thing.
with cats though. So the interesting thing that I think about right now is that the most interesting episode had nothing to do with cats.
Yes, exactly. It's because it was shocking and it made us laugh. And I think for a while, we completely forgot it was a feline medicine podcast, actually. Yeah. So
I
here's,
tried to spin it a little bit. I was
You
talking
tried.
about honey on wood.
it was really it was a bee podcast. And
It's a bee podcast.
so here's the thing.
Our podcast was taken over by bees.
Well, just one. But the reason, or one of the reasons this happens is because if you haven't noticed, we're totally unscripted.
We are totally unscripted.
Yeah.
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 But we go with the flow. I like that.
We do.
because,
We do.
Sometimes we know what we want to talk about.
We do, or at least we have a ballpark idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know,
But the bee thing came from,
the bee, we did not
I
anticipate.
did,
How did you do?
because I knew that he was a beekeeper.
You didn't know.
I knew that was a beekeeper, and you, as a matter of fact, if you listen to the episode, Dr. Seuss was like, huh?
I
Those
didn't know.
bees? Yes. I knew that. He knew, I knew. Yes.
It comes out now. The whole story comes out now.
Right. But anyway,
Anyway, we're
Well,
unscripted.
we are focusing on cats.
And yes, and so when our guest experts come on,
Right.
they
Are worried.
sometimes are a little worried because they would, not all of them,
Some are natural.
some. Oh yeah, there's lots of, yes, but some of them want like, you know, they want to know what we're going to ask. And that's a problem because we don't know what we're going to ask really, right? We just start, it's a
Yeah, we don't give a
conversation.
list of questions.
No,
No.
they're unscripted.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just a conversation.
And sometimes we talk through each other a little bit, but most of the time we don't, which is kind of weird. If you think,
Well, I think it depends on, so we prefer to record these like live in person.
Live.
That's always the best.
Mhm, it is.
And we, especially during the pandemic, we had to record a lot on Zoom.
Mhm.
And I find it much harder to like not, at least for me anyway, like to not talk over people on Zoom or something about not being in person that it's hard to see the physical cues of how the,
Yeah, I have to send you messages. Can
He
I
does.
say,
he does.
can I talk for like half a second?
And I text back, no,
Yeah, she just keeps on going.
I do, I just keep
You
going.
know. Anyway, so we are in Rio right now.
Oh, I forgot, we have to tell our origin story.
I think they know. The podcast knows more than the
This origin story
yes.
before.
Yeah, many
Sure.
times. Yeah, many times.
I don't
But
think we have.
we haven't.
And I'm sure there will be people listening who have not heard the origin story.
Okay.
It is episode 225.
It is episode 2.
We are back in Rio.
And we were in Rio because of the lecture series that we had.
Yes.
We already talked about the fact that there's not a lot of cat.
Right.
Most people have lectures that talk about the D word, and then at
Right,
the
a
end
little
they
bit of
say
cat.
there's a little bit of cat.
Right.
So we wanted to change that.
Yes, and this was 7 years ago.
7 years ago. And
So we happened to be in
Rio, yeah.
Yeah.
And we happened to be in a
Yeah.
really nice hotel. That was the reason that we were in this really nice hotel was that before that,
I think, what, didn't we end up at like a congress or,
I think we had lectures in this region.
it was
And there was a
lectures,
lecture outside
like
of
further down from,
yes, so the Ipanema beach. I think it was somewhere right there.
yeah.
And then we went back to this hotel on Copacabana Beach, and the hotel had a couple of issues.
Are you sure that hotel was on Copacabana? It wasn't, I don't think it was.
I think it was. It was a little further than
Are you
this.
still on this beach?
Mm,
Oh, well, it's not my memory, but
Right.
anyway. So
yes.
we checked into this hotel
Yes.
on that particular day. And the first somewhat unsettling clue was that when I went to my
It was a
room,
4-star hotel.
oh, Lordy, when I went to my room, it was clear that it had been broken into
Multiple
many times before, like all of the, you know, chipped wood and you know, as a woman staying in a hotel room on her own, it's a little scary. So I
just
just
at a
like,
different floor too.
what was it?
Yeah, I was at a different floor.
Oh, okay. So I put a chair against the door that night. Yeah. And I said to
Yola
Yola,
knows all the tricks.
if I'm not there in the morning, like
Right.
you'll know why and carry on without me.
Right.
And then
It would have saved me a lot of time.
it would have. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
224 episodes less.
Yeah. But your room, the door on your room was fine.
My door was fine,
Yeah.
but the next morning,
And a gentleman, you would have traded rooms with me.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Huh.
Right. Let me think about
But now in retrospect, knowing what the problem was with your room, I think I'm happier that you got that room than me.
So if you would
Yeah.
have a first class seat and I would sit in the back in economy, you
Yes.
would tell me, oh, please take my seat and I'll sit in.
It's not the same thing. No, it's not the same thing.
Right. Okay.
So your room-
going on, the next morning,
Yeah.
I had a little accident in my.
No, you didn't have the accident.
No,
The
I
room,
didn't personally.
the room had the,
Yeah. So we had a little bit of toilet trauma because it, happened to explode.
Still funny that the toilet exploded.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was very unpleasant. And I was so sick of it that I said, okay, now I'm done with it.
It was the end of that tour, I think, actually, wasn't it? So we were already a bit tired.
We had a couple of days off.
Yeah.
And they had said you can use this hotel, although it's your, event hotel, you can stay.
Oh, well, then we could stay longer there. Right. That's right. That's right.
And so they had paid for it and everything.
And after the toilet incident.
That was just the last drop.
Yeah. So we decided we're leaving.
We're leaving, and we went to the nicest hotel on Copacabana Beach.
Yes.
And that's where we are right now.
And that's where we are now. Right. Yes.
To celebrate.
Yes.
A 100 Cat Cafe podcast.
Yeah.
And 225
per podcast. That's 325 podcasting.
I know, it's a lot.
Wow. So, right. I had not added those two together before. Right.
So, yeah. And then thinking about the number of downloads is just pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's the magic of the hotel. Yeah. This is the Copacabana Palace.
Right. It's a beautiful hotel.
It's the Belmont.
And the interesting thing is that we started this because it was like we had a couple of days there.
We did.
We had the idea maybe we should start a podcast and
record some stuff. After sitting around the pool and getting weighted on hand and foot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so we did the first 3 episodes, and
we did
about lower urinary disease.
It was, and we recorded them like bing, bing, bing.
Right.
One after the other.
Yeah, because we didn't stop talking. I was with my imposter syndrome, I was afraid that we didn't have enough to talk about. I should have known better. Dr. Susan, because
you have never been short of a word yourself, buddy. I mean, really.
So, yes. So, like an hour and a half later, we thought, we have way too much.
There better be 3.
Yeah, that better be 3. So that were the first 3 episodes. So if you go back, to the beginning, because I also wonder. So, and I have that issue with the podcast I'm following right now. If there is like 200 episodes before, you go back to the beginning.
So,
yeah.
I mean, you could, because we have guest experts on most of ours, right? You can always say, I want to listen to.
They're kind of single episodes.
Yeah, they're standalone. There's the leaders. Yeah. Sometimes like it's in 2 parts. It's like, this week and then 2 weeks for the second part. But they're essentially standalone.
Standalone.
Right? So you could say, I want to listen to hyperthyroidism, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like a story you have to start at the beginning. No.
So one of my favorite podcasts is the Egyptian History podcast.
Yes.
I had to go back.
Yes, you do.
I know. A long time. And I'm still not.
I know. I know the podcast, and I had to do the same thing too, because you can't just like pick up in the middle of that.
No. So I wonder how people listen to this podcast. But anyway,
it's happy you listen.
Yes. Anyway, so this was really great, and I think that what I think is so amazing is that in this time, so much has changed.
In 7 years, yes, a lot has changed, and we've tried to like sort of bring breaking news to the next nearest episode that we can with the guest expert. So it's been I think it's been really really lovely for me that within almost the moment at the time something is like new, right? We get to talk with the guest expert
and not to tout my own horn.
But
breaking news is that I finished my book.
Oh, you shouldn't tell you're not. No, that came out wrong.
Thanks, Susan.
That came out wrong. You're allowed to.
Okay, where's my nut?
Toot your own horn. What's it called, Jolle?
What?
The textbook. What's it called?
It's the reconstruction, small animal.
It's reconstruction?
Yeah, it's my reconstruction book. I don't even know.
I knew it. You don't even know the title.
No.
But that easily happens, let me tell you. You work on a textbook for a couple of years. Look, I don't even know what it's called anymore.
Gosh, yes. But it's about reconstruction in
heavy
word. and cats.
Yes.
So we have a lot of pictures about cat reconstruction in there. And
Like
that's so
after,
exciting. Yeah, so
especially
so
after cancer
the new
surgery.
part of this book is that you will see the stepwise,
Yeah.
but then we also included now patients with end results. So you can show
Oh,
people
even better.
how it looks after everything heals.
It's actually really smart, right? Because oftentimes, like it's just focused on how you do the surgery, but nobody, you don't get,
Right.
oh, that's very smart.
So we're very excited. It's coming out probably early next year. You know, I just
Always takes-
finalized everything, and now we'll get the Kelly proofs, and then we'll go further. So
Yeah.
this is such a big weight off my shoulders.
Well, you should be very proud of it actually, because is there another veterinary textbook on reconstruction?
Yeah, there's two.
There's two.
Yeah, so we have Pavletic
Oh,
and
Pavletic.
Swing,
Okay. Okay.
and so both are pioneers
Mhm.
of reconstruction.
Yes, yes.
And I know them both, and
Yeah.
you know, they're amazing people. So, and they're amazing books. So, if you are interested in surgical reconstruction, you should buy those books too.
Yeah.
And we're just an addition to that. So we add a more stepwise
Yeah.
procedure to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to call it a cookbook because every case is different.
Yes.
And then we have now these cases follow up.
Yes, that's really
Which
good.
I think is,
Yeah.
is really.
There you go. I think that's exciting news, Yola.
So that's for our 225th podcast.
There's your breaking
That's
news.
my breaking news right there.
So once it's actually in print, can I interview you about it?
I
Will you
hope
come
so.
on the podcast?
Oh, this podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I will.
Could I invite you to be a guest?
That's a great idea.
And I'll interview Yola.
Can we double me?
What do you mean?
That I can also ask questions.
Oh, we'll have an AI Yola.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I'm gonna
Yola.
I'm gonna create an AI Yola.
Yeah, that sounds.
He'll stand in for you,
Yes. Why not?
so you can be interviewed.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. See, we have
Anyway.
big plans.
So, do you have anything new to tell our
No.
audience?
No.
You're the same old, same old.
Pretty much.
Really, that's not very exciting.
No, but look, it's overwhelmingly exciting enough to say that we have managed to make it to 225.
I think it's a big number.
Yeah, it is.
And you know when 250 is going to be?
No,
Next year. Around
that's
this
true
time.
because we put out about 24, 25 a year, right?
Right,
Yeah.
so around
So
this time
late next year. Yeah.
we have 250, which is also a crazy number.
Does that mean we can come back to Rio next year?
Sure. Why not?
You just know by the tone, don't you? It's a certain tone when people go, "Shh." And you know inside their head they're going, who would not want the chance to come back to this? This has to be one of my favorite hotels ever.
It is.
It's
It is a
lovely.
really, really nice hotel. But
Yeah.
so this is where it all started.
Yes.
And I,
Yeah.
you know, I know why we did it.
Yes.
I did not think that it would.
Yes.
Keep on
So
going.
I've recently learned that Yola thought he wouldn't be able to stand more than about 20 episodes of me. Says breaking news.
Breaking news again. Yeah, all the breaking news comes from me.
Apparently.
Right. Oh, she's pouting right now. But anyway, so you know, there's time to thank some people because this
Yes.
podcast absolutely would not be possible without you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
That's very
you
true.
know, and then also the sacrifice of myself for 224 times being with you. No. Anyway, but there are some people that we need to thank.
I think our listeners, like,
That's number one.
right? Because like anybody can do a podcast. We just sit here and we yak at a camera, really, right?
It's a very small one too.
The new one is.
Yeah.
So, but anybody can do that. But you need listeners. And because we lecture around the world a lot, we have, you know, people from all around the world who come up to us and say they listen to the podcast.
Right.
And that makes us happy. So yes, I'm surprised that it's gone on this long.
What?
Yeah. Because it's hard. It's because it's hard. It takes
She first scolds me that I said that, and now you say it yourself.
for a different reason.
Right.
It's hard work.
It is hard work. It's a lot of work, and although we don't prepare for these things normally,
Right.
it takes, so much time. It takes time to record it. It takes
It
time
does.
to listen to it, to
Yeah.
read.
Even just to set up the experts, because we like to record in person, right? So we often end up recording like 1 or 2 days, like all day in a row, right? And then we've got all these files to deal with. Yeah, so.
And then there's 2 other people that we need to thank.
Yeah, there are other people. I think there's probably 3.
3 other people.
One of them is related to you. One of them is
Yes.
related to me.
Yeah, but he didn't make the music for this podcast.
Really?
No, he only did for the Cat Cafe.
Oh, you need to
And
get in
that's
touch with
Jake,
him.
my nephew.
Jake the nephew.
Yeah, Jake the nephew, I did because I wanted to have a new song for us.
Yeah.
But he is doing so well that he didn't have time. Right.
Jake has grown bigger than us.
Good
Well,
for him.
congratulations, Jake.
Yes, that's amazing. So,
So,
thank you
so he
anyway
wrote
for
the tune for our
Yeah,
Cat Cafe podcast.
Yes,
Oh,
he did.
okay.
He's amazing.
Okay.
You should follow him.
Okay.
Demo at Demo in Instagram, DHEMO.
DHENO.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 2 people to thank.
Yes.
Yeah. And so one is Ben.
Ben.
Ben, my son,
Yes.
who does all of the editing.
He's great.
Bless his little soul.
I know it's a lot of work.
I
I
don't-
used to do that in the beginning. Right?
Yeah, at the very beginning, we only did it. That's right.
Gosh.
And then Ben took it over.
Yeah.
And he's actually like pretty
He's
proficient
amazing.
at it.
He's so fast.
Yeah, he's very good. So Ben does all of the editing, which, no editing, no podcast,
Right.
basically,
Right.
right? And then the newest, although like not brand new, but the newest team member
Stacy.
is Stacy.
Amazing Stacy.
Stacy does all of our social media. She does our Instagram. She does our Facebook.
We have 2,000 followers on Instagram.
Do we?
Yeah.
She's going to make that grow. You watch.
No, she already did.
I know, but she's going to continue to
I
make
know.
that grow.
I said 50,000.
She does everything from scratch. She creates graphics for us. She's very talented.
Yeah, she is very good.
And we're very lucky to have her. Yeah. And we do pay her, by the way.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. We don't pay ourselves, but we pay. We pay Ben and Stacy
Yes.
because they're the important
Worth
ones.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, without them, we couldn't have done
No,
this
we
for
couldn't.
sure. So,
No.
it's amazing that
No.
they.
So here we are.
Here we-
225 episodes and a staff of 2.
Yes. See, we're expanding. It's amazing. So, it's going faster, bigger and bigger. But, yeah, so
There you go.
there you go. That was it.
That's pretty amazing. So I think we should do a part 2 to this.
4.
And when we do the part 2, which will technically be episode 226, won't it?
Or 227 somewhere.
Or 227. But I think we should talk about all the amazing things like advances in feline medicine that have happened since the day 1 of the podcast. There's a lot.
You're good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good idea.
I think then a little retrospective sort of thing.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's what we do.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
this was the Purr podcast.
Yeah, it's still the Purr podcast.
Right.
Do you have plans I don't know about? Are you?
No. No.
It's use of the past tense.
Oh, right. And the semicolon or the colon of whatever.
Oh, and there. For all you Oxford comma fans, I feel you. I'm with you. So this is the Purr podcast, Yola.
Yes.
Still motoring on.
Going strong.
Another 225.
And we're on YouTube. We have a YouTube
Oh,
channel.
yeah.
You can see us.
Well-
I'm looking steadily in this camera for you to see me. I can even come a little closer.
Yola, don't get closer.
But so we have a YouTube channel. It is right there. You can see all our videos now.
Do you think seeing us is a benefit?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. We
don't
look
know.
good. We look so good.
I think there's people who are going to go, I'm just going to listen,
Right.
Think
Some
I'm just
people
gonna
like to listen. Some people are visual. They like
Yeah.
to see. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Listen. And to the YouTube channel. You can listen to it.
Whatever. Whatever. Yes.
So
That's what you do when you do the crime thing.
sometimes I just listen.
You watch or you
Yeah. Yeah. It depends. It depends. Yeah.
So what is the number one thing you have learned from this crime fetish that you have?
If You go to Walmart
Mhm.
and you buy duct tape,
Mhm.
a tarp, and a shovel all at once.
Yes.
You're committing a murder and the police will find you. Yeah, I'm serious.
So tip of the month.
Tip of the
Don't do
month.
that.
You'd be shocked
How many people do that?
how many people do that. I say buy them all at different places.
Oh, you're now going to give
If you
tips to
if you
YouTubers.
must commit a murder, which you shouldn't,
Oh, oh.
don't buy all the supplies at once.
Okay, this was the Purr podcast. Thank you very much. Episode 225 or something.
But
We're very excited to be here, and
Yes.
thank you so much for your support. You can find more information at purrpodcast.net.
net
That's it.
and at Purr Podcast.
Right, on social media.
Yeah.
And on our YouTube channel. You know, where you can get all sorts of great tips.
And I'll try not to make them about murder.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Susan. This is the Purr Podcast, where we talk cats, laugh a lot, and learn something new every episode. Together, we bring you the latest updates, surprising cases, expert interviews, and just a touch of chaos, because nothing with cats ever goes as planned.
So whether you're a seasoned veterinary pro, a new grad, or you're just here for the cat puns, you've come to the right place.